So how does it feel to be recognized as one of the most influential metal bands to come out of the 80s?
Good. It's really good. I mean, we've run into, a lot of fans who says, they were influenced by Death Angel. And also running into quite a few of the bigger bands, too, like the guys from Slipknot saying Death Angel was had a big part in their musical career, too. So, it's very flattering, very makes us humble, but really appreciative too at the same time.
Excellent. And what do you think has been your most successful album to date?
Well, Act 3 for the band, in the first era of the band would be Act 3. Mm-hmm. In this era of the band, ever since the band reformed in 2001, I think this latest album, Relentless Retribution, would be probably the most successful because this is the most touring the band's ever done. I mean, we didn't do that much touring in Art of Dying or Killing Season, but ever since we released this album, we've been hitting a lot of territories we haven't hit. We started off in South America, we did Europe a couple times. We just got back from Eastern Europe. We did places we never hit: Romania, Croatia, Turkey. And right after the second leg of this U.S. tour, we're going to Asia, which, is taking us to the Philippines, which we've been there like 4 years ago. And we're doing Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. So I would say in this era of Death Angel, Relentless Retribution would be the record.
And who are some of Death Angel's influences?
Wow. Stems from the older bands, like I would say like Judas Priest, Maiden, old Scorpions, with Uli Roth, early Metallica, Iron Maiden, a lot of that new wave of British heavy metal like Tigers of Pantang and Diamond Head, a lot of those. But also we pull influences from like Queen, the Beatles. And, that's where we get all the vocal harmonies from, the idea Elton John, Stevie Wonder, and all that cool stuff. But as far as rock and metal, it would be the older stuff, like I mentioned, Priest, Maiden, and Scorpions, and early Metallica, Exodus as well.
So, yeah, they're coming here with Slayer and Rob Zombie.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I saw that. That's a great one.
It's pretty awesome. And how is playing at such huge and well-known venues worldwide at such a young age? I know you played at like the Ritz and a few of those pretty well-known venues. So, I mean, you guys were pretty young back then. How was that as an experience?
It was good. I mean, talking to Rob and Mark about it, it was definitely a great experience. It was a different era then, and having, from just talking to them about their experience, just having them experience that, it was awesome, Like I said, it was a different era. More people came out to shows, more people bought records then. Well, now, I mean, it's getting better now. But having to play those big places, the Warfield and Ritz, Death Angel having to play those was a milestone and a great achievement at the time.
And throughout the 90s, Death Angel sort of branched off and dabbled into several other musical projects. Do you think that these projects changed the mentality and goals of the original Death Angel lineup?
No, I think it was meant to be. I mean, at the time when Death Angel was at the height of the career for Act 3, they stopped at a high. I guess they broke up. It was meant to be. They broke up because a lot of things happened. The accident, as you heard, and a lot of business politics. And it also kind of let the rest of the guys in the band experience other types of music, that would have probably changed Death Angel completely. So having the breakup at the time was good. So.
And what are some of your favorite memories from shows and favorite bands that you've played with?
Oh man, I mean, if you ask each member of the band, it differs. So my favorite would be probably when the band reformed and we Thrash of the Titans, that festival, that benefit show we played in San Francisco for Chuck Billy and Chuck from Death. And the first time we came back to Europe, when we played the FNR in Holland, it was in July of 2002. The crowd response was just amazing. It just right there kind of solidified, okay, we have to do Death Angel. Because doing Thrash of the Titans was a one-off. It was basically the band was supposed to reform just for that benefit, and we weren't going to do anything else. Then we got offered to do a few shows in Europe, and FNR being one of them, and that show was probably the highlight for me. Playing the Dynamo Festival right after that. And And another highlight would probably be playing with Metallica in San Francisco at the Fillmore. They did right when they got Robert Trujillo in the band, they did 4 shows at the Fillmore, and each band member got to pick a local band or a band to play with them, and we got to play the last night of their show. It was a show for their fan club.
And I know you guys recorded an album, I think it was in 2007, with the producer, his name is Nick?
Nick Raskulinecz.
Yeah, and you guys kind of got connected with him through Dave Grohl, correct?
Danko Jones.
Oh,
it was actually Danko Jones.
Yeah.
But Dave Grohl is connected with Nick Raskulinecz, yeah.
Okay, and how did you kind of get connected with these guys? Like, what's the...
That was for the Killing Season record. At the time we were writing for Killing Season, we were talking, we were looking for producers who would be good to produce Killing Season. And we've known Danko Jones for quite a few years. And while we were towards the end of our writing for Killing Season, Danko Jones was recording with Nick in LA. And Danko Jones, in one of his recording sessions, he walked in with a Death Angel sweatshirt, and Nick was like, "Hey, I know those guys," and picked up the guitar and started playing some of the songs. And Danko got a hold of us and said, "Dude, Nick's a big fan, blah, blah, blah." And it just so happens we were looking for a producer, so Danko hooked that up. Mm-hmm. So Nick got a hold of us. We sent him some demos. He was into it, and it just happens that the time we wanted to record, he had free time. So we got hooked up through him via Danko Jones. And we got to record at Studio 606 in LA, Dave Grohl's studio, and it was just amazing. We got to meet Dave Grohl, and it was just a fabulous experience working with Nick and recording him down there.
And how would you say your most recent album differs from your earliest work and The Art of Dying? Because they're all, I guess, they're part of different eras of music.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think Relentless Retribution is probably the heaviest, the fastest, and the thrashiest since the Ultraviolence. You know, after the Ultraviolence, if you notice, Frolic Through the Park, that's the record where we were experimenting with different styles and whatnot. And Act 3 was more consistent in combining all the styles together. But Relentless is, we purposely wanted to write a thrash record because the band hasn't written one since Ultraviolence. We purposely were in the mindset to do that, and we wanted the production of a real thrash record. So it's the heaviest, the angriest, the fastest, and probably lyrically the most personal. And that kind of contribute with, the band has gone through a lot of ups and downs within the past couple of years, member changes and things outside the band, kind of seeing people's true colors, and a lot of stuff went on, personal, internal and external. And having 2 new guys in the band, which they brought that thrash element. Will and Andy, our original drummer, has a different style than Will. Andy's more of a rock groove drummer. Yeah. Will's more of a thrash drummer. So that, and Damien as well. Damien's a thrash bass player. Dan's more of a punk rock bass player. So having the 2 new guys in the band helped kind of influence the writing of this record. And combined with all that, it's just a very intense record. And we're stoked about it. It's different. If you look at Art of Dying, you could kind of see like the band's getting their feet wet again. Killing Season, we were like right in there, right in the pocket. All right, the songwriting's getting concise, but still, variated. And where Relentless Retribution, it's really consistent to a point where Rob wrote all the music. Mark wrote majority of the lyrics, with Rob writing 3 of the lyrics, 3 of the 12. So, and they were both on the same page lyrically, and all 5 of us were on the same page musically. So, I think Relentless is by far the best since Act 3, but the thrashiest since Ultraviolence. It's going to be good. Canada's been good.
Awesome.
A bit expensive, but good.
It's at least you guys got a little bit of good weather anyways.
Yeah.
This is what we call good weather.
Yeah, it's still cold.
Yeah,
it's still cold. But yeah, we're having a good time. And I guess we have this show and 2 more shows, I believe. And it takes us back into the States. But every time you leave the US of A, the shows get better.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think so.